Well, that last video seemed to went a little long, but it's what happens when you get into comic books, all the indie stuff. So now we're into the rest of the long box here. That's what I have right here. And like I said, this is what I think is part 4 of the, Howler Hustle of August. But technically, this actually runs in like maybe September 1st because it was a holiday. And the comic book store that I went to in, I think this was in Columbia, South Carolina, again had the big sale going on where you got a long box and it was 50% off for what he usually does, and filled up the box. And like I said, a long box usually holds anywhere from 300 to 350 books. My buddy Tim was with me. We ran out of time. We went through about 72 books, 72 boxes, and the guy still had tons more. I don't even think we went through half. And when we ran out of time, he still had not, filled up his box. So he gave me his space, and I had stacks and stuff. So, but I think what this is I think we might have time to get through the Marvel stuff. But I found some more indie stuff real quick. I guess you can call it indie. But in the early '90s, late '80s, early '90s, with my brother and I, the way we did it. We did it for years, but he would buy 4 or 5 books, and then I would buy 4 or 5 books on the Wednesdays. We never would really get the same books, so we would trade out and read books. And he started getting this book, Ralph Snart. This is from Now Comics. Okay? Alright, there we go. Down here's Ralph Snart, Evil Lizards, some bad, guys. This book is freaking hilarious. I read 1 or 2 of them before I made the video. And these things really hold up. If you're into like Groo, Sergio Aragonis, yeah. There's Ralph Snart. It's kind of hard to make those out because the art style is really out there, man. This book holds up. If you're into Groo and in comics, and it's kind of a sophomore kind of humor. I feel like the guy who did this was probably in college or something. That's what it felt like. But he's, Ralph Snart's a psychopath. He goes ballistic. He drinks beer. He parks his car, climbs on top of a bridge, pisses off of it. That's the issue I'm looking for. But a lot of stuff going on here. And he kind of satires sex and women and brains and attraction and just stuff you can tell he's kind of working his way through, But these Ralph Snart books from Now Comics, if you run across a few of them cheap, go ahead and get it, man. I mean, it's not going to change your life, but, I dig them, so. But yeah, my brother got him, and I read his and really enjoyed him. So now we're into the Marvel stuff. Speaking of Groo. Alright, let's get a big one here, big lot here. First of all, I got 2 out of 3 issues of the adaptation of Willow. And I kind of said before, I hate repeating myself, but there's no telling when somebody's watching this video. They may not be watching them in order. Kind of said I'm starting to refine how I collect comics and stuff, filling in gaps and stuff. And I'm really getting into the movie adaptations, especially of the 80s. And the holy grail of those is going to be the Blade Runner movie adaptation with Al Williamson art. Anyway, this is Willow. I think this was by Joe Duffy and Bob Hall, adapting the George Lucas movie. There was 3 of them, so I've got 2. So some of the stuff I'm looking for is going to be like Dune. It's going to be like 2010. There's a whole bunch of them. Indiana Jones. I've got the Return of the Jedi. Okay, then in the 80s, Marvel had Star Comics, which were at kids. They were, these are for kids. And they were hooking the future of comic book collecting with the kids and stuff. And, I didn't really collect those. I mean, they got He-Man and stuff. I just, they had Thundercats. I got the Thundercats and stuff, first issue and stuff. So now I'm kind of wanting these because actually some of these are kind of pricey. They got the Muppet Babies and all the stuff. And I got this one, Planet Terry. Alright, so hey, why not? What I'm saying? I don't even know who did these. But, I figure why not get a little sci-fi thing, make it kind of feel like, I'm getting some Harvey Comics is what it reminds me of. And the only guy on here that I can tell you his name is Vince Collada. I have no idea who the rest of these people are. But anyway, here's Planet Terry. I figured it was fun. Fill up a box, why not? There's number 1, number 6, number 7. I mean, sometimes you just got to get something that's fun, light reading, And I mentioned Groo. Love Groo when I can get an issue and stuff here and there and stuff. But it's one of those books you kind of took for granted. It was always on the rack. It never sold out. And supposedly, Sergio Aragonés always hid a message in the backgrounds of Groo. You'd have to go through the whole book and find a word here and a word there, or he'd have it all sprawled out on, some little, I mean, look how the guy drew, right? Okay, the man drew a whole lot on one page, very detailed, yet, very simple little art style that he has, and the man's genius and stuff. So, Mark Evanier would come in and kind of help, do the dialogue and stuff. And I don't know how much English Sergio knows or anything like that, but I heard he actually had to interpret a lot of things. But I don't know. That's it. But anyway, look at this. This is a whole stack of Groo, and I think it's from Dark Horse and Marvel and Epic and stuff. So here's number 3 from Epic. And of course, I think his first appearance was in Destroyer Duck number 1, which I have 2 of. Here's an early beat-up issue, number 56. With this guy. This guy was hilarious, the Bard, or whatever he called himself. Number 67. I'm going to have to go through and find a whole lot. Man, that glare is awful. So, I'm going to adjust. A lot of comics, okay? There we go. But I'm just going to kind of show you the covers to them. We got a long way to go here. Yeah, I love this. Had a lot of reoccurring characters. People loved his dog. I mean, you talk about some hardcore things. And what I love about Groo is they finally did it, man. You can tell Groo was inspired by Conan. And they finally did the Conan versus Groo or meets Groo miniseries this year. And of course, I will be there for that. Now we're into the Image stuff. He took him to Image. I mean, Groo's been around over 30 years now. Okay? Great, great stuff. Oh, man. I mean, look at that. Talking to the masses. I think he loved cream cheese or something. I don't know. There's always running gags in there. And, this was pretty much Forrest Gump in the Barbarian Age. And that dog was hilarious. And think about cartoon dogs. I would compare that dog to the cat Spot, I think, that was in Hong Kong Phooey, for you guys to go way back. Ooh, we have a maiden fair. Yeah. So I'm so glad to give these. And what was funny is while I was going through the boxes, I hadn't run across any Groo yet, and there was people in there found another Groo, found another Groo. And I'm like, shit. And then I run across the box that had a big run in them. So there was people there looking for Groo. Groo lives. I think Scott Connor, the guy I mentioned every now and then, he comments on quite a few of my videos, and we've met quite a few times. A real good friend. He's a huge Groo fan. Look at that one. That was funny. Them as kids. Yeah. So, Penguins. Very nice. But I haven't gone through these, and there's issues here. We're up to issue 95, and I don't think I've read Groo past the 70s issue. When they're in the 70s. So this will be interesting. Looks like he's going to mess around with some gods. Yeah, the wager of, I got a price tag on them. These are originally $3 a piece, apparently. Anyway, these are in great shape. So bag and boarded. Wow, look at that. Yeah, the Wanderer, Groo the Wanderer, War of the Gods, book 2. So it looks like we had a little trilogy going on there. Very cool. Looks like all kinds of gods from across the board. Look at this. Colors got brighter. Sergio Aragonés was keeping it fresh, man. Man, he is wicked fast is what I heard. So there's a whole bunch of Groo. Oop, there's one more. Yes, Way of the People. So I'm very happy to have those. And I'll probably enjoy reading those a lot more than a lot of stuff that's come out in a while. Okay, going on with the refining of my collection again. I'm going to go through my collection, and I'm going to get this. In 1986, I was in middle school. Some people call it junior high. But it was the 25th anniversary of Marvel. And they put a whole bunch of portraits with the border, of these. And I think I really would like to take a section of my wall and get all of these. Now these are doubles. Most of these I already have, and then these I don't have. So I'm very glad to find Conan the King. I think Tim Anderson threw that at me, when I told him what I was trying to find. Alright, I think this is a double. The Transformers, Megatron on there. Alright, and then also I'm going to go ahead and do it, man. I'm always looking for Crisis crossovers and the Secret Wars 2 crossovers. I mean, let's face it, it's been, it's creeping up on 30 years. Since these books came out. They're closer to 30 than they are 25, so I figure why not, so yeah, it's time to get good Secret Wars, go through my collection, see what I have. I've had this about 4 or 5 times. I don't know why. I had this 4 or 5 times. I don't know why. I mean, you know, this is just in better shape. And again, I've had this 4 or 5 times, and I don't know why. So yeah, Beyonder popping up. I figure I might as well get all of them. I've got a complete set of The Darkest Night now. There was Preludes I didn't know about. Still going on with Marvel. Yeah, we'll go about 5 more minutes, guys. Okay? And let me see where we're at here. Yeah, we'll finish up with the Avengers here. Some of the books I got. Alright, so I'm a big guy. On one of my top shelves up here, I decided to move. These comics are completely different than in the previous house in my previous videos. I'm keeping the reference material out. I've got the runs and stuff that I've completed. Anything on there is now in there. This is stuff I'm trying to complete, or this is reference material. And I think reference material is really important, man. You go to Wikipedia and I just roll my eyes sometimes because they got their facts wrong because they didn't do the research or in the ballpark. You got to go back to the Marvel Universe, to the Who's Who. This is the first edition. Okay? Number 10 with Spider-Man on the cover. Wraparound covers. They're just, they go little biography, first appearances. And then they came out with the deluxe edition after this. Shield. Explains uniforms, rank, and all that stuff. And, you know, and these are not a chore to read. Okay? There's the helicarrier specifics and blueprints. Just great stuff, man. Just great stuff. Had a bunch of, you know, what's going on. I got a complete set of everything except the original one, so I must be getting close now. This is probably a double, but I figure why not? You know, I think that's a. Actually, I think who did that cover? Cover. Don't do. Well, I can't find it. I don't feel like slowing down the video. And then this was interesting. Okay, this is Fred Hembeck. You know, we talked about Sergio Aragonis. Fred Hembeck. You know, friend him on Facebook. I don't. It might surprise me if people actually do it. But Fred Hembeck, you know, worked at Marvel, DC, came up with this classic cartoon style that he has. And apparently he came in and he did the story and layouts, and it just says that everybody came out and drew on this book. So, I mean, I haven't yet to find who did it, but, you know, Fred Hembeck gets in there, and I think he draws certain characters, and other people come in and do finishes on it and stuff in their style. This is from 1982, and I've heard about this, never got it, so that's pretty good. Marvel Saga was about 25 issues, and it told the chronological order of the Marvel Universe from the beginning, you know, all the way up to the arrival of Galactus and stuff. But what they did is that books that came out in the 70s and 80s and stuff, that retcon stuff, or they told stories before the Fantastic Four appeared, they put them in chronological order on here. Pete Sanderson helped with that. Yes, getting closer to completing Quasar. Don't ask me why. You remember 55, never saw that one. More Hulk books. I got a run of the Jeff Loeb, Ed McGuinness run. They are actually pretty good. When they did World War Hulk, I thought Marvel was bringing me back, and that was awesome. And then all of a sudden they just ended it. Jeff Loeb, Ed McGuinness comes on. They kind of reboot the book where he's in the desert, bring out a Red Hulk, where nobody talks about, you know, the Hulk coming down and raising hell in New York with his blood brood and yeah, whatever. X-Men, Children of the Atom. I'm hoping this fills a hole up. This is Steve Rude art. Steve Rude sort of flipped out and did not finish the series. I think I finally finished up my Avengers Invaders. Dynamite Comics kind of made a deal with Marvel there. And Jim Kruger and Alex Ross did the story. The guys that brought us Earth X, Universe X, Paradise X, and a lot of good stuff. Avengers Now, some Alex Ross covers. Marvel Fanfare. I'm really enjoying those. David Muzzicelli doing a Angel story, at least on the cover. Yep, and Nacita and David Muzzicelli. And I really like his style. So you can, yeah. Some Weapon X. Always looking out for some Weapon X since I sold my hardcover. Found early issues of Marvel 2 and 1. This is annual number 4 with Black Bolt and the Thing. And I'm like, this is awesome. That's from 1979. Yeah. And you know, looks like it got a little damaged in the box, but you know, just marked out this code, so that could be something. Grabbed The Thing with Devil Dinosaur, which I thought was awesome. I think they're making a movie or something in it. Found some, what I believe it to be Steve Ditko. Yep, Tom DeFalco and Steve Ditko. Machine Man number 17. I'm getting real close to finishing that series. found a newer issue of Walking Dead, 115. Looks like it's the one where Carl gets his face shot off. And then finally, I finally found this issue. I got a few of these, but this is Kurt Busiek, George Perez classic story of Ultron, The Evil Returns, number 19, when the heroes were reborn. And now I have all the parts to it. And this was actually voted, I think, in Wizard Magazine for having the comic book moment of the year, where I think Ultron like wiped out a whole country, and he's sitting in this chair, and Thor busts in, and he's all costumes all ripped up, and he's like, "We will have words with thee," and they just leave it there. That's the cliffhanger, you know. So, getting a lot of the Kurt Busiek run I'm trying to finish. You know, George Perez hung in there, Conan Dwyer came in there, Alan Davis came in there. So, and then, you know, Chuck Austin came on, and Jeff Johns came on. But I want the Kurt Busiek, all the Kurt Busiek issues and stuff. So, because, you know, they started going back to the original numbering. 47 was actually 462 of the Avengers. He just got a really just built a story. And then started having covers like these that I love. I just love that retro feel. Oh, the heavy blacks and stuff. I mean, look at this. There's some negative space, positive space. This tells the story. And this is where Jeff Johns came on. And what's funny is Jeff Johns did a story, and it might be this one that I just showed you, where it takes place in Rocky Gap, and I am like, I don't know, 7 miles from Rocky Gap now. And Thor had a, so I don't know if they took 77 and said, hey, this could be a good place to have a big story, but he had the Avengers come down like, 7 miles down the road from where I'm living now. Back then I was living, I don't know, hour and a half away in a place called Russell County, Virginia, Lebanon. And I was reading it, and I was like, that's Rocky Gap. It's at the, that's up 460, and I can turn, just turn right, and I'm there. Because it's right outside of a tunnel here on 77. There's 2 tunnels where I live. Big Walker Mountain. You can look it up. But anyway, what was so funny is as I was reading the book, this big storm hit. At the same time that Thor was raising hell and calming down the thunder and blowing up barns and shit, this lightning storm came in, and I'm like, no fucking way. I was like, no. It was really funny, man, because I was like, shit. Anyway. Alright, guys. Well, that's the end of, what is this, part 4. I'm going to keep going here, keep tracking. Thanks for hanging.